What's up, guys? It's Brian from Ashware Hub. It's about 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, March 13th, 2018. We got a trading video coming right to you. This one's going to be on Bitcoin, as many before it have. But first, if you're new to us, we do a lot of technical analysis. I think pretty good technical analysis. Take a look at the comments down below in all of our videos and make your own judgment there. But what we would ask you for is possibly to subscribe to us and hit that notification bell. If you're watching us on DTube or Steam It, subscribing to us would be great. Also, upvoting and re-steaming, we would also be very greatly appreciative of those too. So let's get right on into it. So where we left off this morning, or my morning at least, Eastern Time morning, is we were thinking possibly things could possibly drop off, and we still are thinking in a similar fashion as well. What we're really looking for, again, this is on the bearish count, okay? What we're really looking for is that this here is we're counting this as an A, a B, and a C, and then coming down, we would have 5 waves coming down. 1, 2, possibly we're thinking that this is going to be the 2-leg right here, where we would need to look for an ABC inside of here. And there seems to be one forming. This could be an A, B, and a C. Could run up even further. It could run up even higher, and still we would count it in the same fashion. Obviously, can't go above the top over here, or then we're really no longer looking at this as being the first wave coming down. So, another thing I like to take a look at. I tend to, and I haven't been showing many of these because of the fact that people tend to get a little lost with them, but I also tend to draw a lot of lines. So what I'm gonna do is actually I'm gonna delete something real quick. But before I delete it, I want to show you guys it. This is how we're counting this large ABC correction. Okay, and this C, we can estimate that it could get down to as low as around the 6450 level. Okay. That could happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying that could very well happen, no doubt. So I'm going to delete this real quick, and to just kind of zoom in here a little bit more to show you what's going on. Okay, we have drawn this red line. Okay, this red, what we're kind of calling like a resistance line. This red resistance line starts at the top here. Okay, basically the top of the correction, and it comes and it touches here, and then possibly I'm thinking maybe it'll hit here. Maybe it'll hit here, somewhere along this red line, and then it'll then come down. Could possibly be a scenario, or it could be a place where the market says no, we're not correcting. We're gonna run up. Okay, and then we continue our kind of bullish run up, or the beginning of our bullish run up. And so, like I've said before many times before, becoming a good trader, or being a good trader, or the best traders that are out there, they can't tell you which way the market's going. In other words, they can't tell you if the market's going up or going down with any great certainty over time. But what they can tell you is a point in time when they believe the market's going to spring up or down, and either which way it springs, they're ready for it. And that's the same way you need to approach your trading. Okay, now I feel like a lot of people get stuck in, oh, is the market going up or is it going down? If anybody that tells you it's going to go up, it's going to go up, or it's going to go down by this so much by this date, and stuff like that, I should be pretty weary, unless you've been following them for like the past 30 years and you have detail back testing on it. It just I've never found it really to ever really work out all that well. So this is the best way I found go about trading. This is the way a lot of the traders I've been around go about it in the same fashion as well. So we had also drawn this yellow line right here, thinking that or hoping that if the market were to come down and break below this yellow line, it would be kind of almost a signal to go ahead and get short. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to delete it for right now. It's still in effect, don't get me wrong. This is about 8,750 where this line was drawn. It's still kind of in effect, but you know, I'm just going to delete it because I'm just trying to clean things up here. So we are still overly bearish, no question. I mean, that's the direction. If you were to tell me which way is the market going, or ask me which way the market's going, I would tell you down. And we're looking at a 1 hour basis. And one of the things I want to show you here is that, you know, look how much energy the market had to expend. And we really couldn't even get above the 55 EMA until we got above here. Okay, but at the same time, look how volume is declining. Okay, this is a 1 hour basis. You know, on a 4 hour basis, I mean, we've been going sideways for, you know, basically this amount of candles, but you can still see, you know, generally it's been decreasing. 2 hour basis, you can see the same thing. 1 hour basis, obviously, 1 hour basis, obviously you're going to see the same thing again, right? So, you know, today, what's been happening? I mean, basically, we've gone sideways for the majority of the day. We haven't really made any significant move up or down, and there really hasn't been any volume. There really hasn't been really much of any volume at all. However, what I will note, on a 1 hour basis, we are entering into overbought territory. Okay, where before we had, you know, slightly overbought, you know, slightly overbought, even less so, and then now we're kind of in that slightly overbought territory again. So, you know, as far as Laguerre RSI is concerned, yeah, we could totally turn south right at this point. Not saying it's going to happen, but I'm just saying it could happen right at this point. So next I want to go over some of these hidden support and resistance lines. And so what we're going to be doing is at the 4 hour resistance, right? We're turning the 4 hour support into 4 hour resistance, okay? And we're going to turn that to 9,653. Okay, 4 hour resistance, 9,653. $9,653, right? That's 4 hour resistance. Now, in 1 hour, we are turning the 1 hour from resistance to support. Okay? So, but one of the things I do want to mention here is just remember this 9,409, right? It could be a point where we come up above to again, we kiss, and then we come back down, right? Because it has been a you know, a point of resistance in the past, right? I mean, touch here, it's a point of support right here. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm actually going to just draw a line right in here, okay? Just so we kind of remember. And again, so 1 hour support, 9,132. Okay, so okay, so this is kind of a cool thing to look at, right? So remember, this was our 1 hour resistance before, right? You know, actually, I'm going to just write that in. No, come on. Previous 1 hour resistance. Right here. Okay, because the market could run up, it could kiss this thing and come back down, and we're basically off and running, you know, down, right? So not only am I looking at this on a bear flag basis as we have here, but also looking at it, you know, kind of in this sideways momentum basis too, right? Plus, on top of it, we also have this resistance line coming from above, this trend line, this trend resistance line coming from here. All right. So a few different things converging at the same time, on top of the fact that we also have the green line kind of piercing right through here. This is that large green top of the channel. Okay. Just wanted to show you. So now if the market were to go ahead, touch this previous 1 hour resistance, and then come down to the 1 hour support, okay, of 9,132, okay, if it were to break below this, okay, if it were to break below this, then possibly we can continue to move down. Now, what I would also look for it to also, you know, break below is this right here, the bottom, which would be the bottom of 1, right? The bottom of 1 exactly is 8,742. All right? So we want to obviously to see it hit the support, you know, basically break through it and then get down below this level of 8,742. All right? And that's when I would start looking at shorts. You know, you can be super aggressive, super aggressive if you wanted to. It's high risk type stuff. But you could say, okay, hey, you know something? I'm going to short this thing right here, right? Because I see that I had a green candle, small green candle, ran up and hit the green line here, which has been resistance, right? I mean, man, look at this. I mean, this sideways momentum here basically is all right around this green line, right? And so the market's still adhering to this line. Like, it knows it's there. Okay, even here too, it came up, it kissed it. It came up here, right? Even this green candle right here, it came up, kissed it, and we had two bearish candles come right down after it. Okay, I mean, you could have gone ahead and played this and said, you know something, I'm going to be really aggressive. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to short it. If it kisses this green line, I'm going to have a stop loss, like, you know, maybe one stop loss right here on the previous 1 hour resistance, and maybe get out of it, or the rest of it right over here. Okay, and then say, you know, well, I'm going to go ahead and get out a majority of my position right here on the 1 hour support of 9,132, and then maybe some more, you know, coming down here. And that's kind of the way in which I would play it. But on another basis, you know, a more conservative basis is I would look to say, okay, this is a 1. We're gonna have a 2 coming up, and we're gonna have a 3 coming down. But I want to confirm that we have that 3 by that we have that 3 that's starting by us breaking below the low of this candle right here, on 8,857. I'm sorry, the low of this candle right here, 8,740. 742. Okay, that's the way I would go. That's the way I would go about playing it. So what's kind of cool is that we have the previous 1 hour resistance, and we have this 1 hour support now as a 1 hour support. Why is it a support, 1 hour support? Because on a shorter time frame, it looks like things are moving up here. Why do we have a 4 hour resistance? Because on a longer time frame, let's look on this on a longer time frame. You know, it looks like we've been moving down, right? So on a for as far as bulls are concerned, yeah, you want to see the previous 1 hour resistance completely taken out handedly, and you want to see the 4 hour resistance taken out with no question. Okay, because remember, the 4 hour resistance is telling us that the reason why it's telling us resistance is because we're expecting that on a 4 hour basis it's going to continue to go down. Right, on a 1 hour basis, the reason why it's support is because we're expecting on a 1 hour basis that possibly it could go up a little bit. All right. So trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, 55 EMA. Yeah, I mean, now the market's coming down. It's kissing. It's trying to, you know, kiss the 55 EMA. You know, it took us some time and some effort to kind of get up above it. Got up above it. Now we're coming right back down. You know, very quickly. On a 4 hour basis, you know, on a 4 hour basis, I mean, this is where we are. I don't really need to really speak about it too much, but you know, we're below the 55 EMA, and you know, you really can't be all that bullish if you're below the 55 EMA. You really can't. You really have to make sure that you're broken out of that and say, you know something, any dip, I'm buying. I'm not trying to say do that exact strategy, but you know, where you can be aggressive in your purchases because you're above that 55 EMA. Very general rule, but that's the way in which I like to look at it, because I go in different modes, right? I'm in a bear mode, I'm in a bullish mode, right? And that's kind of these are one of the gauges, the 55 EMA, whether or not we're above it or below it. That's kind of one of my gauges as to whether or not we're in bull mode or bear mode. I mean, it's pretty simple, straightforward. On a daily basis, the 200 moving average, we are still above it. Okay, we're still above it. But we had this doji candle right here, right? We had this doji candle right here. I mean, yeah, the body could be a little bit smaller, but this is, you know, previous day's close. In other words, this day right here basically just started for us on the Eastern Coast. But right here, this day closed, and it's a point of indecision. And I would say it's a point of indecision of, you know, the way I look at it is like this, right? We had a down, we have a little bit of an up, we have an indecision, and then possibly could have another turn down. All right. So I don't outwardly trade on doji candles, but it's one of those things that just like helps me add a little bit more sentiment to the work that we're doing. So I think that's really about it. Not much really to say until we kind of break one direction or the other. As far as a bullish trade is concerned, yeah, I mean, I would want us to, you know, break above, you know, the previous 1 hour resistance. Let's go at about 9,400 and change, maybe even a little bit higher, you know, where we get rid of this wick right here, and then we know we're out of the weeds of over here, right? And then I would say, yeah, maybe we could go ahead and you can pick up a bit, trying to use this as a target right here. This top right here is a target right here. So let's go to about 9,880. So that's another way in which I would go ahead and trade that. And obviously, you know, you got to ladder it. You got to ladder your exits, etc., etc. You may also want to look at a potential objective point as far as once you get into the if you were to get into this trade on a long basis of this 200 moving average, that maybe that's a place to take profits if you're getting into it then. So I don't really like the long trade. I like the short trade in this instance. There's just a lot more things that make me more comfortable than the long trade. Where I would feel getting into a long trade here that it was just kind of a bullish fake. So anyway, that's about it for right now. Hope you guys have a great night, and we will speak to you in the morning.